A snake strikes in the tall grass. A predator's tooth tears skin. In a single second, one of your group goes from healthy to marked. And here's the part no one tells you. The bite itself was rarely the thing that killed them. What came next, the decision the group had to make, was far more dangerous. Because in the ancient world, a wound wasn't just an injury, it was a question, and the answer could doom one person or all of them. Today we open the file on the bitten, not the bite, the aftermath. The hours and days when a body began to swell, to fever, to rot from the inside, and the people around it had to choose. Do we stay and care for you, or do we leave you behind to save ourselves? This is a case about the oldest medical dilemma our species ever faced, and the disturbing instinct it left buried in all of us. Follow the evidence. Before antibiotics, before stitches, before anyone understood infection, a deep bite was a sentence with no clear verdict. Sometimes the wound healed. A scar, a story. And the person walked again. But sometimes it turned black. The fever took hold. The skin split and the smell, sweet, wrong, unmistakable, filled the camp. And the person was gone in a week. The terror wasn't the pain. It was the uncertainty. No one could tell if the bitten would recover or decay. And uncertainty to a survival-driven group is the most dangerous thing of all. Because while they waited to find out, the whole group was forced to slow down, to stay in one place, to spend precious food and water on someone who might already be dead. Every day they waited was a day they weren't hunting, weren't moving, weren't finding the next valley. The bitten person became a weight, and the group could feel it. Ancient humans didn't have germ theory, but they had pattern recognition, and it was brutally effective. They noticed that sickness sometimes spread, that the person who tended the dying one often fell ill next, that the wound that festered didn't just threaten the wounded, it threatened everyone who came close. So a boundary formed, invisible, but absolute. The bitten were separated, set apart, not always with words, with distance, with averted eyes, with the way the group would shift, slowly, to the other side of the fire. Here's where compassion and survival collided. To care for the bitten was to risk yourself. And evolution does not reward the reckless. The instinct to pull back from sickness, to feel disgust at a rotting wound, to avoid the infected, that wasn't cruelty, it was the immune system of the group written into emotion. Disgust is older than medicine, and it saved lives. It still does. And yet, the bones tell a different story too. Archaeologists have found ancient skeletons with terrible injuries that healed, shattered femurs that mended, skull fractures that knitted back together, wounds that should have meant death on people who clearly survived for years afterward. Which means someone fed them, someone carried water to them, someone stayed. A person with a shattered leg cannot hunt, cannot gather, cannot run, cannot keep up. And yet they lived. Which is only possible if the group decided they were worth saving, worth the food, worth the risk, worth the days lost. This is the paradox at the heart of the file. The same species that pulled back from Contagion also invented care. We were the first animal to nurse our wounded back from the edge, not because it was safe, because something in us decided that some lives were worth more than survival. Hold on to that, because the next piece of evidence is where it stops being history. So what's the verdict? Ancient humans did both. They abandoned and they healed. They ran from contagion and they sat with the dying. The bite forced a calculation no creature had ever had to make consciously. Is this one life worth the risk to the rest of us? And the answer depended on who you were. A skilled hunter, a mother, a respected elder. The group fought to save them. A stranger, an outsider, someone already on the edge. They were far more likely to be left by the fire as the others moved on. And no one would say a word. They'd just go. Here's why this file still matters. That ancient calculation never left us. It's why, even today, a visible wound makes people instinctively step back. It's why illness can make someone feel suddenly alone, even surrounded by people who love them. Your brain still runs the old math. Is this person a risk? beneath everything your conscience tells you. We like to believe care is automatic. That compassion is our default setting. The evidence says it never was. Care was a decision, a risk someone chose to take. And every time someone sits beside a sickbed today, against that ancient pull to flee, they're winning an argument our species has been having for 50,000 years. Close. Case closed. If this file got under your skin, there's another one waiting in the evidence room. Subscribe. Stay on the case. The investigation continues.